So that's our flow chart. I think we're getting through most of it.
Can I just ask,
Sure.
so getting on to that, I did see your flow chart where it says confirm the problem by road test or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How far do you go with intermittent faults when you can't confirm the problem? So Mrs. Jones comes in, she says, look, this car just every now and then it stops and I can't get it started, but it only does it once a month. How far do you go? So I suppose...
Me personally, I'm pretty stubborn.
Yep.
And look, I have become pretty good with diagnostics these days, and I feel that most of the time, there's always that odd one that's going to kick your butt,
Yep.
right? And you've got to draw the line. If you're not seeing anything close to a solution after an hour or so, I usually pull the pin.
Okay.
But if I'm getting a bit of a direction within that hour period, I'm pretty good with diagnostics these days. That's 50% of my work is diagnostic work.
Okay.
I don't do engines, gearbox, diffs, none of that heavy stuff.
No.
I couldn't tell you last time I pulled a head off or
Yep.
gearbox out. My work is service, maintenance and diagnostics. That's like from 10 years ago, if I look back, it's really, really changed.
Yep.
My world is so much different now and I love it. I get such satisfaction out of being
I suppose I'm trying to ask
guy.
this question like as a businessman
So-
and as a motor mechanic, because at the end of the day, I mean, my policy's always been, if we can't fix it, we're not going to charge you for it.
Yeah.
So when you employ mechanics, like there is a certain amount of time they can spend on it, but there is nothing worse, would you agree, if you can't confirm the problem? So what problem are you chasing? Because there's no DTCs, the scan tool says you look at the active data, everything's within specs, you can't see any issues.
Yes and no. I'm a firm. Anybody here heard of Jim Wilson, the flat rater? Right, he's another American technician, and you're familiar with flat rate in America? Flat rate, they don't get paid a wage over there. They get paid by the hours that they spend. So if you're in a dealership environment, they're usually given 15 minutes to diagnose a new vehicle fault. So, and that's, any time over and above that, they don't get paid for. So that's called flat rate. Or they call it flat rape because they don't make much money.
No.
They're being raped. It's a tough way to live. It's a very tough way for them. And the result is it teaches them to be very, very efficient in diagnosing. And he's got a website called The Flat Rater. And he shows how to use scan data in a whole new level, way above anything that any of us guys would be familiar with. He looks at the interaction between other sensors and what impact one action over here might have
effect over
on
there.
something else.
Yeah.
And he uses that for his diagnostic process. And a lot of guys over here, that escapes them. They don't know that process. And I'm not saying I'm great at it, but I've learned a lot from him, and I feel that a lot of my skills have come from that. He calls himself a driver's seat diagnostician. Right? He believes he can do most of his diagnostics with a scan tool, sitting in the air-conditioned car, and not have to pop the bonnet. And mate, he does. He's that good. And it's all about experience. And granted, he just works on one make of vehicles, GMs. That's all he works on. So it's easy for him. He's sort of blinkers. But it's harder for us because we're working on 50-odd brands. But it can still be applied, and it is very relevant as far as improving your diagnostic skills.
Yes.
And even though the codes might not be there, there might be something in that data that'll give you a direction.
So what you're saying is you will continue on if you can smell something.
If I can smell something, but if I've got nothing after about an hour, and it depends on what the fault is. So I've made up a few little test boxes. So for example, if it's in an intermittent stalling, for example, or it's not starting when they go to the shops or something like that, I've got little boxes with LED lights in it, and I'll heap of wires, like 7-pin trailer wires, and I'll tap into the in and out of the EFI relay. I'll tap to the power and grounds at the ECU, and I'll have all these LEDs lit up, and I'll show the lady, and I'll say, all right, see all these lights are lit up? Go off, do your thing, and next time it doesn't start, have a look and tell me which light didn't light up. And then they'll ring me up and say, oh, the red light didn't light up. I'll say, okay, I know what it is, come in and we'll fix it. So you've got to think outside the box, that sort of stuff. So I try not to let diagnostics beat me. I enjoy the challenge.
Yep.
And they're the sort of approaches that I use.
Yeah. I suppose our attitude is if we can't confirm the problem, we don't go any further, but we don't lose the customer either. We say, well, look, we're onto this, but this is the stage that we're at with it at the moment.
Yeah.
We need for your engine light to come on again.
Yeah.
So we need for you to bring it back as soon as you can. And that's when people go or say, are you going to charge me again? And this is what makes it awkward, because if you say, well, no, I'm not going to charge you again, then you're making a statement that whatever I do to your car, I'm not going to charge you. So we always say, well, we might have to get deeper into it, but we really need for this vehicle to play up.
Right.
Is that how you would approach that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, to an extent. Yeah. Like I say, I try to go the extra bit with weird boxes, and I like doing that sort of stuff because the customers quite often, and as we were saying before about being so female driven, our industry, because the husbands are busy at work, the wives are doing most of this sort of stuff. They love that because they always feel like they're in a foreign world when they come into our workshops, because we're just completely different to what they're used to. And if you can have a box with flashing lights and say, oh, I want you to tell me what colours are, they feel like they've got involved in the process, and they love that. They really do.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it creates a whole new relationship with your customers.
It does.
We've had a bit of a success with data loggers too.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got 4 or 5.
Yeah, data loggers are good.
Same sort of deal.
Yeah, well, with this sort of stuff, you can get really hairy problems, but there's nothing better than a victory once you've fixed
that's
it,
for sure.
once you've found it.
That's right. And then you've got to share it. Share it.
That's exactly
Share it with
right.
everyone else.
Yep.
So what have we got? Business resources. That's just linked to Jeff Mutton. There's nothing really there. Jeff, I don't know whether any of you guys have ever utilised Jeff Mutton. He's our TAT Biz guy. Phenomenal guy for all your business training. Very smart.
Was he the guy that was in Sydney, right? When we went down, that's
No.
Jeff Smith and Jeff Mutton. Jeff Smith does the automotive side of things. Jeff Mutton does the business training.
He does full-on business training, and I mean full automotive. I know Paul from AVR did a complete thing with him, and it's changed his business dramatically as far as profitability, monitoring hours, selling hours and all that sort of stuff. That going by what Paul told me, I mean, he's changed things a hell of a lot. So, yeah, I didn't realise that he got that deep into it, but he does.
Oh, he does, yeah. Yeah, he's quite good. Surprisingly good. I think I missed the line. We've got a technical training here. So we hold training events ourselves. So we do training for different things. We've got the auto partners. We have play days. I don't know whether you've heard of TAT play days. Anybody here ever been involved in a TAT play day? So what we do is our members can organise one. So, for example, you might want to do some training, but you also might want to network with your local area if you like that. We're big believers in sharing information, knowledge and experience. We don't believe in chest beating and competing with our other shops. It's all about helping one another. Yeah. And that's not just through our network here on TAT. We try to carry that on to our local areas. A guy down the road can be just as much a help as anybody. So
for sure, yeah.
It pays to do that. So what we do is we have these play days where we might have a dozen or so guys from the area come around, and then Jeff and myself or one of the other technical guys we've all got our own skills. I'll just quickly say this. So there's about 12 of us in the technical team. I'm the computer geek. I do a lot of programming and stuff like that. We've got one guy who's really good at EEPROM reading and writing. He'll wipe computers, virginise modules, match and link program modules back together, similar to what Injectronics and the likes do, that sort of stuff. We've got a couple of guys that are very smart and switched on with VAG stuff, anything Volkswagen Audi group. We've got quite a few auto electricians in the group, in the technical team. So we've all got our strengths, different guys. We've got Clinton Brett and Andrew Collish. They're diesel guys. Right. We've got a four-wheel drive guy. So it's nice that we've got this sort of eclectic group of everybody. So when we do our training, when we go off and do a training, we try to send the guys that are going to be appropriate for what they want to learn. So yeah, that's the idea of the training page. You can ask to host a play day. We have up here, host up in the top corner, host a play day over there. You click on that, you enter your details, when you want to host it, and we get the ball rolling and organise it, and we turn up at your shop and we tear it to bits, playing with tools, and have a great day. It's just generally an awesome time. We just play. That's why we call it a play day. So yeah, but we also, any trainers around the country, we for no money. We're not trying to make any money out of this. We just want to make training available to our members. So any trainers in the country that want to promote their training events, we gladly put it on this page. So it doesn't matter who you are, we just shove it there, and it just combines them. There's not many there at the moment, and it just combines them all in one place for our members to see where the next training events are going to be. Yeah, so that's our training. And we try to do training whenever we go to, the last few times we've been to the Melbourne and the Sydney Auto Care. Jeff and myself have done training at those events too. Okay, so where are we? That's our training. We just got acronyms and fault code databases there. Sort of self-explanatory. They're just a database, searchable database. Business resources. Share your solutions is essentially, like I think I told you this before, so if you have a fix in your shop and you're quite proud of it, you can take some snapshots, enter the vehicle details, and you can upload it to our site. That's Share Your Solutions over there.
And it can be any sort of fix. It doesn't have to be
Anything.
an EFI fix.
No, anything.
It can be an oil pressure
anything.
issue.
Of course, anything, absolutely. And I showed you the technical videos page before. The technical videos is divided up into a few sections. We have members repairs. These are the repairs that our members have uploaded. We've got tips and tricks, tools and equipment, scan data. We've only ever had one person upload a video on scan data. He just didn't know how to upload the data in another format, I don't think, so he just thought it was easier to take a video of it. We've got, these are by our technical team. You'll see here, these are a lot to do with updates. You can see here we've got the Mazda update. We've got a VZ Commodore programming. We've got Captivo DPF software repair. So these ones tend to be more programming related. And then we've got some user guides there to help guys through the website and doing separate.
Just getting back to that Mazda 3, if we have the right pass-through tool, scan tool,
where was that one?
we can go onto, if we're a member, we can go onto the website and we can get the information and go to a link to do a software upgrade on that Mazda 3 with that 2096
Yeah, that's right.
problem.
That's right. So you'd so if you wanted to do it all within, obviously we don't have the software on our page, obviously.
No.
So you'd go to the first thing you'd do is go to the aftermarket info resource. You click on Mazda. Right. If you were a newcomer that had never been there before, the first thing you'd do is click on the subscription information, and that would take you to the page to subscribe.
Yep.
So you'd be a newcomer, you'd never been there before. So that'll show you how much the subscriptions are, and it'll show you how to. You'd have to obviously create a new account up the top and go from there, or you can just click sign up and go from there. Once you've done that, and you've now got you've only got to create an account once. Once you've created the account, next time you come along to this page, you would just click the first link, which would just to access the page, and you'd log in. Once you're logged in, there's a process of downloading the files from the laptop, from the portal to the laptop, and then to the computer. Quite often there's information either on the website or on our website on how to do that.
Well, I think that's fantastic, isn't it? It really is. Because
I'm a little surprised that you guys...
Well, we didn't know.
Yeah.
We didn't know. See, it was okay having the pass-through tool, but how do you get the software? That's what we didn't know. We didn't know that we could access the software to do it.
Well, not all, as I was saying, as Nigel and I were discussing earlier, there's still a bit of a problem there because it's not mandatory yet. Some of them aren't just openly making them available. Some are.
No, but I mean, I could go on, spend $20 and have 24-hour access to
25,
that.
I think it was.
25 or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's right.
$25 is cheaper than $200 from Matt Hardy or something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, even the dealer charges about 120.
But then you've got to get your tech organised to be able to do the job.
Yeah.
And it's a reasonably fast process as long as you take your time. So there is money to be made, and it's better money in your pocket than in the dealer's pocket, isn't it? So, but yeah, it's a fairly, once you've done it a couple of times, I'm sure Gil Scher, he's the one that did that video that you saw before, he's done dozens of them. He'd probably knock them over in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's quick, easy job.
Okay.
What about like holding crews, everything else? The engine issue, it's a sponge, absorbs water, you got to put a new one in. Like, I've got to pay someone to come